Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasies, sci-fi, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season we'll be discussing a dark academia bully romance series known for its smutty content and often billed as a Harry Potter for adults. That's right, grab your Stardust. We're headed to Solaria.
Welcome to Zodiac Academy. Note to students, vampire bites, loss of limbs, or getting lost in the Wailing Woods will not count as a valid excuse for being late to class or this podcast.
In today's episode, we're discussing Book 9, Restless Stars, chapters 41 through 57, where the rebels strike a devastating blow to Lionel's army, taking away two of his greatest weapons, and one of our favorite couples finally receives their mating bond.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. This includes potentially all Zodiac Academy World books, including the Ruthless Boys and Darkmoor Penitentiary series. We're also avid fans of the Moss Universe and Fourth Wing and might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Sorry in advance. Like the books, this podcast is rated R, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube.
Alright, so last we left off, the rebels' base at the school had just been attacked by Lavinia using their captured star's power with the help of fucking Clyde. In the wake of this tragedy, the group has made plans to attack back, but first the twins are going to visit the nymphs in their hidden colony. It doesn't go great. It doesn't go bad, but it doesn't go great.
Does it go terribly? Yeah. It does start off with Darcy talking about Shadow, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to go,
Yes.
and she does pick a name for him, and she does say him, so where I'm assuming he's a boy.
Yeah.
Yay!
And Jerry's like, but do you know his real name? And she's like, what are you talking about? His star name? And it's like Excavarinus Helios Stolianco.
I didn't even bother to try to write it down because I knew I wasn't going to pronounce it.
I said, right. Okay, we're going to call you Shadow, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, so that's a name.
Mm-hmm.
How about Shadow for a nickname?
Mm-hmm. And I love that she is going to make him some armor, but the one thing that she would not put on him is a collar. I loved that. I still love Darcy now. I love Darcy.
I love that. That's so crazy. I cannot believe the flip. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. I'm just like so taken aback. Yes, I also love Darcy.
When it came up about making him a collar, I was like, no. And she was like, no, that's not happening. That's absolutely not happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yes.
Even though she would never abuse that, she knows that it's symbolic enough that it doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
What about the bracelet?
Yes. So on their way out, Orion joins Darcy and meets up with Tori for their secret sister mission.
Yeah.
And remember how Tori gave Orion a friendship bracelet when he was kind of new to the relationship? Well, now Orion gives her a friendship bracelet. Only this one's not made out of vines.
Yeah, he had Darcy help him, which I thought was sweet because he wanted to get it right.
Yes. And I love that he tried to match it to the necklace that Darius gave her.
Yes, but also he said something about it. He didn't want to match it too closely.
Yeah.
But he wanted it to go with it. And I was like, damn, we love a thoughtful man.
Because Orion is the best.
Yes, he is.
And I do have to say, Darcy puts on a silver gown for this. And I was like, why? I know. Why is a gown always portrayed as queenly? You are at war. Put some fucking armor on.
I kind of agree.
I missed that.
That would be cool.
Usually Jerry's the one who's pushing the gown on them, but she literally puts it on herself. She goes into her closet and gets it now, and Orion makes a comment about it, and I was like...
I was about to say, I think I remember because of Orion's comment.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you're at war. If you came to my city dressed like that, I'd kick you out too.
Damn.
Put some fucking armor on.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But.
And I also love she did take Diego's hat.
Yes.
And gave it back to Miguel. Because he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really sweet, actually.
But yeah, what did y'all think about the meeting with the high nymph person?
I thought the initial thing where Darcy's like, wait, I thought you said this went well. And she was like, yeah, I exaggerated.
I exaggerated.
I mean, the last one didn't go badly, but it also, well, I don't know. Maybe that's subjective. Did it go badly? Kind of.
I mean, she got an orgy out of it.
It went weirdly.
She got an orgy
but
out
not
of it,
badly.
Yeah. Oddly.
Yeah.
Actually, Darcy brings that up. She's like, what about the weird freaky
night.
witch orgy? Yeah, I think she says sex night, but yeah. She was like, who told you about that?
Mm-hmm.
And Washer pops up out of nowhere right when you mention the weird sex night. Sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, when?
Fucking freak.
He didn't pop up in this part. Are you talking about something else?
Yeah, he did. He did. Briefly.
He went with the nymphs?
No, before they left.
Oh,
You're
okay.
talking about the weird sex night, and he just pops up out of nowowhere.
Oh, I think Tori says something like, no one's supposed to know about that. How did you find out? Don't tell anyone else. And then, and Darcy's like, yeah, especially not Washer or something. And then literally Washer pops up.
That's like a siren call, though. If you start talking about weird sex shit, then that's like, it's a beacon. He knows.
Yeah.
It's like a superpower.
Anyway, we get to the area. We get to the nymphs.
Yeah, and when What's-Her-Face shows up, I literally wrote in the notes, what a fucking bitch, coward, bitch. I hope she burns.
Are you talking about
fucking
Cordette?
Bitch. Yes.
Yeah.
Cowardly fucking bitch.
I read your notes and I was just laughing.
Literally, I hate the way she treats Miguel. I hate the way she treats the twins. And yes, I get it. You've been burned before, but quit being a bitch.
My issue was her treatment of Miguel.
Mostly, yeah, for me too.
More than anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I started the same. I said, fuck you, Cordette. But at the same time, in reference to the twins, I understand why she is...
Right.
Treats them the way that she does, because I mean, I don't know how many times she's been lied to, how many times they've been promised things and then it doesn't happen. So I guess I get that in a way, but yeah, how she treated Miguel was shitty.
It was. He literally left for their sake to go help them like find food or something. I don't remember why he left, but it was to help. And gets captured, can't resist, manages to get free. He resists enough to not leak their location also. And she has the gall to say, you didn't break the shadows yourself, so you're not strong enough. When she literally says, we can't leave because we'll fall prey to it too.
That was my thing, is they called him weak, and yet they're the ones hiding.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, I totally agree. And he's the one that's like, despite what I've been through, we should fight. We should join them. We should do this. And they're like, nope, we're not going to do it. And there's a group of people that want to fight with him.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't at least they let them do it? If they're willing to sacrifice their life or their security, let them go off and do it. And you don't have to sacrifice the rest of the group. You can just let them go.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand.
I think she's thinking that if she lets them go, they'll leak their location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't like it.
I don't either. It screams hostage.
Little bit. Poor Miguel. Always fucking told what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, we learned that he was a high nymph in this community before he was captured. So he was respected before.
Yeah. I will say, maybe this is a crazy take. Wait, what did you say?
I hope she burns.
Maybe this is a crazy take, but, and you guys tell me what you think about this. When Darcy and Tori start talking to Cordette about Diego, I didn't really like it. I don't know. I think because it felt like they were using Diego's memory in a way. I get that bringing him up points out that they have like connection to the nymphs and that they do believe that they can be good and stuff like that. But I don't know. Something about it felt a little icky. Like they were
inauthentic.
Using him.
Yeah, like using his memory, using the time they spent. Because another part of me feels like you guys were friends with Diego, but you also
made fun of him.
That close. Yeah, like you kind of hurt him. And in the end, it was, Diego's sacrifice, really, that made you guys realize who he really was. It wasn't you guys coming to that conclusion. So, I don't know, something about that
even after he confessed to, being a spy and being somebody who was supposed to trap them or whatever.
Yeah.
Tori still didn't treat him very well.
Yeah.
Darcy was better, but still not great.
Exactly. And so even though I did not like Diego, I still didn't really appreciate the way that they used that memory of him and made me kind of sad.
I was just going to say, I think if they'd reacted more angrily to how Cordette was, to what she was saying, I think I would have felt like it was a little more authentic, but it just seemed so calculated and so political almost.
Yes.
You would cry for one of us?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, something about it felt a little icky.
Yeah. Like if Tori had lost her shit and like started yelling at her, then that would have felt authentic.
Better. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. They do also go visit the Oracle again. And on the way, they run into a little boy who happens to be maybe Diego's brother. He does give off Diego vibes, but with more confidence.
Yeah, Egret?
Yeah.
Which interesting name.
But he grew up in a safe space. Diego didn't, so.
He did.
Yeah. But technically not related to Diego. His mom is married to Diego's father, but still gives off Diego vibes.
He's like, I'll tell you a secret if you let me be a part of your rebellion. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? You're like 8. I'm 11, actually.
Yeah, don't
and
worry.
I'm very big for my age.
Yeah, and don't worry, my dad was a bastard, so we're glad he's dead. It's fine.
It's terrible. He was like, yeah, I have a secret rebel club. It's secret, though. And they're like, if it's a secret, why did you tell us?
Oh, my God.
They do talk to the oracles, and they want a trade for their information.
And let me just say, actually, I'm just going to read this out.
Go for it.
So I saw this part. I read it, and at first I was like, oh, shit, Darcy, come on. Don't do this. And of course she didn't. So I put, I love Darcy so much. Taking pain over giving up Shadow. Damn, she may be my favorite now. Still love Tori, but Darcy is my heart. Yeah, I loved that.
I don't know why this brings me so much joy. I think it's just like, I'm like, yes, I'm so glad you like her because I always enjoyed her. And also, I remember
because
a little while back. Well, I do like that. But a while back, I don't know if you remember, but I was like, I can see something brimming inside her. Like, she's going to be badass.
Yeah.
And she is. She so is.
Yes. I feel like she's a full-fledged character now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the nymphs tell her that she already spoke what she needed to know. Woohoo!
That Darcy did
Great.
or Tori did? I thought
Thanks
it
for the
was
help.
Tori.
Darcy.
Okay.
Yeah. So my thoughts immediately went to the stone circle, and I was like, it's gotta
Me
be
too.
that, because what else would it have fucking been? And I was also like, why the fuck did we have to come all this way for the nymphs to tell her, you already know what to do? We already did that. We talked to Arcturus, and he was like, by the way, you have to use the stones. And they were like, we know that. And so it's just like, how many times are we gonna go seek other guidance, and then they're gonna be like, yeah, we're not gonna tell you what to do?
And they broke their
They
fingers.
did say,
Yeah.
they broke their fingers. But they did
Easy
say
price, I
that
guess.
the Guildstone are a snare. I personally think they're going to use that snare to trap Clyde. Since the stones are given by the stars, it would only be right that it can trap a star, especially since what Darcy read in that library was that it can contain a tremendous power or something like that.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
fucking Clyde.
It's like the Winchesters using pentagrams to trap a demon.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. We just need some salt, you know? Little holy
Stones.
water.
Stone circle, some salt, holy water, pentagram. Few words. We got them.
Except this is a star, so we need stones. Pretty stones.
Okay. So we also learn that Lionel is beating Theryx like he did Xavier and Darius because he can't fucking learn how to parent. Despite the fact that
surprise me,
Theryx
actually, but
is bigger than him
should have known.
and stronger than him, has more power. I'm like, Theryx, why aren't you fighting back? Beat the shit out of him. Come on.
I think Theryx is curious about the pain. I think he's curious about just how evil Lionel is. I think he's observing everything.
Yeah.
I can see that. But I just wish that, one of Lionel's sons would beat the shit out of him.
They will.
Dude, what if Theryx eats him or something?
Oh my god.
That would be great.
He's always hungry.
Like eats him alive, just keeps him for snacks. So maybe like starts with the toes and then, maybe an ass cheek and
like an ogre?
Yeah. Just like little nibbles here and there. Oh god. Yeah.
We could just stick the hand into the chest, pull the heart out, and eat it.
Yeah, but then he dies fast.
How very Temple of Doom of you.
He does die fast, but then he's actually dead and can't come back.
But if they take both of his hands, though, he can't do any magic, right? Yeah. So there you go.
That would be great.
Maybe start with the hands. Some finger foods.
Some chicken fingers.
Oh my god.
And then he can marry Linda.
Oh my god, yes.
I mean, chicken fingers. He is a coward. Yellow bellied chicken.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And the fact that even with Clyde, that he's like, he makes it sound like somehow he's going to use him as a weapon. No, you fucking dipshit. You're his little manservant.
So stupid.
Yeah. Kills me.
So
yeah, he's fucking stupid.
Yeah, he is. So because of his new, well, not really new, but he's talked to her before in the past, but he's now recruited a new astrologer to his court.
Right.
And she says that the rebels are going to get water allies. And so they go to this place, this school. I didn't really understand the purpose of this chapter.
The purpose was to make us smile.
Except for us to learn what an asshole or what an idiot Lionel is.
Him skin barking back across was awesome.
He completely fucks up and Theryx just like laughing in the corner.
Oh god.
Bro, so funny.
And then of course Clyde steps in and he's like, yank, yank, done.
He's like, anyways, let's get this out of the way.
But again, what was the purpose of them going here? I thought later on in this section, they free everybody who was here. But I thought that was already part of the plan before they put people, before this chapter. So
That's
I'm
a
confused.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they added on the sea folk later? I don't know. That's a good point.
It didn't make sense to me.
No, it's
And
not very logical.
This chapter, other than its entertainment value,
I didn't question
really
it at all. At all.
Contribute to the plot.
Christy's like, I'm thriving, I'm living,
I'm
I
here
hate
for
Lionel.
this.
Right. Well, when Tori gets back, Darius is waiting for her. We get a sex scene.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of zoned out.
I am gonna be honest with y'all. I skipped some of the sex in this section. That's pretty bad when I'm skipping the sex, guys. It's pretty bad.
You can kind of see
Like I
the
said-
interest in how much the comments are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it had been Seth and Caleb, if it had been Max and Geraldine, if it had been, I don't know, Gabriel and Elise.
No. I don't know. Gabriel's like
I
your
imagine-
brother. I don't want to see my brother having sex, though.
Don't read
Yeah.
Ruthless Boys.
He is not like my brother. I do not think of him that way.
But yeah, if it had been new, and I get
Yes.
this was a new sex scene. They have not.
It was. There was an ice dildo involved.
They have not done a sex
I was
scene
like,
with an ice
oh,
dildo.
toys. Okay. Interesting. But that was it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Ice in the bedroom can be fun. But why do we need it on the page right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, a lot of people read these books for the sex. And I get that. But I'm at the point in the plot where it's interrupting
Mm-hmm.
The
the
plot.
plot
Yes.
too much.
Mhm.
There's no good feeling behind it. Like, I'm not getting satisfaction from it
Yeah.
at the moment. So later on, the scenes with Caleb and Seth, that seems pivotal because of what's happening in their relationship.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, I'm enjoying it. I love to read it. I'm happy for them. It didn't feel excessive. But here it was like,
There's
okay.
no change in Tori and Darius's relationship. There's never going to be any change in Tori and Darius's relationship. It's done. It's developed.
Wow.
It's sweet. I get it. He's very sweet here. He's like, my wife is hungry. I'm going to get her
Mhm.
food. I liked that. That was sweet. But that's it.
Move
I just
on to
wanted to move
somebody
on.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, highlight of this chapter, though, the peace sign.
that
was a peace
great.
sign. I forgot about that.
That was great. I was like,
He,
he did not.
Darius fucking with Caleb and Seth is so underrated because he doesn't even comment on it. He doesn't even say he doesn't explain it in any way. You just have to pick up on it. The listeners can't see me, but I'm just going, peace. And you can see Caleb freaking out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, that shit's so funny.
I will say this. I am at that same point with Darcy and Orion about their sex scenes. Although
Mhm.
I do still love their banter.
Me as well. Me as well.
well.
I like Orion. I like reading Orion always, but I am getting still a little tired of their sex. Also, can we talk about how Darius said that there's no lust magic in Max's siren call? And so Tori was like, wait, so he and I just made out because we wanted to? What? Sorry to break that to you, babe. Yeah. You might have just been attracted to him.
But don't you have to kiss in order to get out
but not
of the
with tongue.
barrier?
Yeah, he said, yes, you do have to kiss, but you can just do a little, and then that's it. You don't have to. Sorry to the listeners. Just a little, mwah. That's fine.
And can I just say that it's so rich, white boy, that they had the kitchen make them be available at 3 a.m.
Right? I was like, oh my god, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about fucking spoiled as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when he broke the bed, I was like, okay, Edward Cullen. Okay, we see you.
Or Zayden.
Which, by the way, oh yeah, Zayden. By the way, I just watched Breaking Dawn Part 1 with my friends last night.
Oh, God. Like part of a drinking game?
Oh.
Okay. Do you remember when I said, oh, the birthing scene isn't that bad? Because I just watched a clip.
I do remember.
Oh my god, was I wrong?
Yeah, you were.
Oh my god, was I wrong? The clip that I saw was only like a part of it.
I remember
did not know
feeling faint
just how
in the
bad
theater.
it was. Holy crap. That was bad. And now I understand, and I wanted to say, I'm sorry, Brittany. I'm sorry to everyone else that I was like, it wasn't that bad. Oh my god, it was really bad. And I'm not really squeamish about stuff like that, but I was like, wow, this is really intense.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, I wanted to clarify that because the last time I spoke about it on the podcast, I said the exact opposite. So, for the record, whoa.
Well, while they're experiencing a time of peace and quiet, we learn that the Spares are up to something interesting.
Yes. This was a weird little sidebar.
Yeah, and you made a good point. How did they find this out?
Yeah.
Did somebody go spy on Lionel's war camp?
I was like, it felt like another random edition.
It cracked me a little bit, though.
Why?
They call it a diffuser, so I pictured them plugging in like a Glade plug-in next to the monsters. And it was like...
When I think of diffuser, I think of the hairdryer.
Yeah,
there you go.
They said that the diffuser is to combat Lionel's war machines, not his monsters. So he has monsters, and he has developed some new war machines.
Yeah, out of where?
But they need to call it
Since
something
when?
different. Don't call it a diffuser. That's evokes a different image.
Not only does Lionel have, himself and all his dragons, Lavinia, Clyde, Ferrex, Vard, monsters, war machines,
Soldiers, nymphs.
who are getting eaten by them.
nymphs, and an army that greatly outnumbered what they expected. Like they're kind of setting up Lionel to have all the things, and I'm a little sick of it.
What also kills me is this is the first we've heard of these war machines, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me that he has these weapons, and then tell me in the same chapter how we're gonna defeat the weapons? Then it's pointless. Then it serves no purpose. It doesn't give me anticipatory feelings that we're doomed. We already feel that way because of all the other stuff you've stacked on. So what is the point?
Yeah, and then
It doesn't serve anything.
they do say that there is a problem with the diffuser. It only goes like 10 feet or something like that, and they can't power it. But
Again. It's about the length of a Glade diffuser.
Can you just Hadley shows up to the battle looking for a plug-in?
Is there a plug?
He's like, there's gotta be a fucking, there's gotta be a wall outlet somewhere. He's just holding 10 Glade diffusers in his arms, like,
And maybe it's got like a nightlight in it as well.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then it zooms in on Hadley. He plugs it in, and then it just starts smelling good. He's like, that's better.
you know what they need to do to unleash on Lionel's army is get that pink smoke stuff that they did for Darcy and Darius. Could you imagine Lionel's worst
Absolutely.
nightmare? Him having to live that out?
Who do you think his worst nightmare would be? In terms of that dream, who would be his worst pairing?
Oh, Hale.
Hale. Okay. What about Washer?
Oh.
He would hate Washer.
I think that what
Linda.
he would be worst nightmare would be him bowing to Melinda and them
Yeah.
kissing their feet and being the biggest kiss ass member of all.
Absolutely.
That would be his worst nightmare.
Okay, now I'm picturing Lionel in
Vard being
ass
in
regalia.
Bard?
charge. Ass regalia. Yeah. What if Vard was in charge and Lionel was working for him?
Oh my god.
That would be his worst nightmare, I feel. Vard would love that.
What about a Pegasus? Yeah.
That would be his girlfriend.
Brilliant.
This would be like he
Yes.
could totally be like a Scrooge
Brilliant.
McDuck, like he is. Yeah. Yeah. That would be great.
Yes.
And he's constantly covered in glitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he loves it.
and unicorn
loves
farts.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But the spares are not the only ones up to something. We've got Caleb and Orion having secret meetings.
Right. About the coven.
I wish they didn't cut this off. It was like, let's meet, and ooh, this book is old,
Yeah.
and we'll read it and we'll forget it when this war is over. We promise.
But you're not going to tell us what it is?
Mhm.
But yeah, I get anticipation and surprise
Sure.
stuff and all, but
They didn't give us anything, though.
they didn't
They-
give us
we don't even know-
anything.
We don't even know what they're looking for. Like, do they want to disband the coven? Are they trying to
Mm-mm.
control their powers? What?
I think they're trying
What
to
is it?
turn themselves into killing machines. So, like the ones before that
Mm.
but at the same time, once the war is over, maybe they break the coven so that they're not that way. But
Yeah.
that's what I assumed, is they were going to try to use it to their advantage.
That would be helpful. It would also could be dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like, we have to forget this information.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
Well, we do finally get to see some of that training on the page that Christy's been asking for.
Damn. The Xavier training. I did notice that when we were reading. I was like,
Yeah. I was like, when it first started out, I was like, come on, Xavier. I thought we were better than this. We were doing
too.
better. We were doing
Me too.
better. And he
Yeah.
kind of goes through this self-realization that he is being a little whiny butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call this the chapter where Xavier figures his shit out because I
Yes.
felt like this was the moment where we had a turnaround.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely, I love that. Although there's one part where he gets his dick caught in the fridge. So
Yeah.
is he like one of those cake fucking beings that the lawyer, remember the lawyer? One of them likes to fuck cakes.
Oh my god.
Do we have like an American Pie situation here with Xavier? Does he like the apple
I'm
pies?
done. Do you think that when he turns into a Pegasus, it still is like that?
It has to be. Right?
And
I
have
mean-
you ever seen, I'm sorry to even bring this image to mind, but have you ever seen like a donkey or a horse stick? Because that shit's terrifying and horrifying.
Okay, so I went to South. Our mascot was the Mustangs, and of course there is a giant horse statue.
Don't tell me it has a dick. The statue?
Wow.
I mean, it got removed, and then people started gluing dildos to
my
it.
God. Oh my god! You have to keep this in the fucking podcast episode. We'll just bleep out
Why?
because that shit's crazy. Because that shit's crazy. That's crazy. People have to hear this.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Why are
you
you
know.
bleeping out?
That's nuts.
Because I'm trying to get
Oh,
a
just-
job there.
Oh, okay. That's true.
But yeah, I have a trauma memory from when I was younger where I was traveling with my parents and there was a donkey at a petting zoo. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Literally, I remember my stepdad being like, don't look, like look away.
What?
And I was
have
like,
to-
what the fuck? I already saw that shit.
when they talk about the dragons and their big dragon dicks,
Yeah.
it gets bigger. So I'm assuming that it must get bigger. So it has to go away. Otherwise, it's got to break. Unless Carson did some kind of magic to make it transform with his dick.
Yeah, you know what? I actually regret bringing this up at all. I'm sorry. I just it was an intrusive thought. I'm sorry.
I will say, because I've been pretty hard on Xavier as well, which still not super fond of him, but I did feel like
Sure.
as much as I wanted to nail Xavier for his kind of line of poor me, when I actually started reading it, it was legit. I can definitely see him feeling like, that Darius would have been better off if he wasn't born, because that meant he had to put himself between Xavier and Lionel. And I thought that it actually made sense in there, that it was a genuine fear. And I actually felt bad for him in this part.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did like Xavier for a while. I mean, I really enjoyed his character for so long, and I felt for him.
It's just when the authors made his main storyline about sex that kind of brought down his character a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it makes it feel like it's all about sex for him.
Yeah.
And he's one note. But
this chapter was great, though. It really turned that around.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Speaking of, is it this chapter that he asked Darius if he ever had problems getting it up?
Yeah, because isn't that what leads to the whole fridge thing? When Darius is like, remember when you got your dick stuck in a fridge, and there were several other horrifying stories?
Oh my God, I forgot totally about this.
I was like, I could never have that conversation with my sibling. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Of course, my siblings don't share the same anatomy as I do, but still.
That, me as well. Yeah, I could never talk to either of my siblings about that.
Yeah. But so the rebels do start enacting some of their plans. The counselors, Darius, Xavier, and the twins go to Lionel's base. They create an illusion of their army marching on Lionel's camp. And I was just like, okay, so you caught Lionel's army off guard. That could have been a huge advantage in the actual battle.
I see.
Now you just prepared them for the future.
I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. Although I was questioning this whole thing because we kind of just jumped into it. There wasn't a lot of prep for them telling us what their plans were.
Right.
And I was confused at first. And then I was also like, how are they creating these ghost people? Because what element is that? What is that? What magic is that?
I think it's just cardinal magic.
Illusions.
That's so weird.
But I'm glad you were
Illusion.
confused.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one, because I was also really I thought they were just meeting, and then all of a sudden they were at war, and it was kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah, I forget they have other magic, but I was just like, that's really powerful magic that's not elemental, but I forget that they can do other things.
Yeah, and the only people creating the illusion, I believe, are the counselors and Xavier, with a little bit of help from Darius.
Yeah.
And the twins go after the star, which is fun time in itself.
And they just dropped us right in there with no...
And I loved it that Tori was like, oh, by the way, we kind of lied to you. You're staying here. We're going. Bye.
She was like, and goodbye. And like falls backwards. And he's like, what the? Tori? I was like, this dramatic bitch. Love her though.
We said it last episode. We love Orion with Darcy. We love Orion with Seth. We love Orion with Darius. We love Orion with Tori. All these people, but Orion's never really had any time with Max. Well, we get that this episode, or this section.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Orion and Max go on their first mission together.
That I thought was weird, but also cool. They're super awkward.
I think they're
though.
cute together, too. I think they're adorable. I love it. They're like, oh, you think you're good on land? Well, I'm in the sea, and I can beat you. Okay, so we get yet another song from Max. The Ocean Song, in which he creates a fucking tsunami.
I'm terrified of this man. And he's so sensitive and gentle and nice, and you would just never know because he's keeping all of that in his back pocket.
Yeah, just
insane. If they don't make him their right-hand man just for the fact that he could probably wipe out thousands in minutes, which why doesn't he? Do you remember that in one of the previous chapters where he sings and a bunch of people just fall? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or did they fall? Or
I think that was in the palace where he turns their fears back on them.
Yeah. And they die. Well,
yeah.
They have brain damage.
Yeah, why doesn't he do that all the time?
I mean, songs, you'd have to keep your allies completely covered at all times.
Yeah, but it didn't seem to be an issue at the time.
Well, he had to keep
He's overpowered.
Xavier whenever he did that nightmare one. He had to keep him in a silencing bubble. This, he just commanded the sea.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to be fair, couldn't he do that with his water element? But
maybe it's stronger if he does the siren song?
I don't know. My thing is, if he's this strong, is his dad the same?
It's a good question.
Because they're a team on, our side.
How useful would a whole army of sirens be?
Oh, yeah.
I would be scared.
And they save all these shark shifters and whatever, and the shark shifters eat the guard.
Good for them. I wonder what their order gifts are, because, all the orders have weird order gifts. So
yeah.
What do they do? Bite shit?
Part of me was like, cannibalism?
They have pica?
But, okay.
Yeah, I'm not here to judge.
I mean, the dragons also cannibalize people, so, yeah.
Yeah, true.
So, we have Darius and Xavier. While the counselors, Darius and Xavier, are distracting Lionel and his army, the twins go after the star, and they immediately run into Clyde.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of follow him, and I was like, is he purposefully leading them, or does he know that they're there?
Yeah, I was really surprised he didn't catch them.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
It felt almost like he was walking and then kind of waiting for them to catch up and then walking. Yeah. I was like, is he leading them? Come on.
I don't think he's leading him, though, because he needs the star. I don't know. They've written his character in a way that he feels like Matthew McConaughey's character in Dazed and Confused.
The way I understood it was like every time he paused, he was searching through something, like through his mind or like talking to himself or like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I assumed that was because he's looking for another star. I would be horrified if he was leading them on, but I wasn't sure if he was or not. I don't know.
I don't think he is. I think because he doesn't. They take the star,
right?
That's not what he wanted.
In theory,
so
right?
I don't think.
I don't think that he ended up doing it. It's just when I was reading this, that was my thought. Was like, what the hell? Why?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he know where the star is? If he was going to the star, why didn't he just go there? Why keep stopping?
Yeah.
But also, meanwhile, Seth and Caleb go to the polar capital. This is a place that Seth has always wanted to go. They better honeymoon here, I'm just saying.
Did anyone else get night court vibes from this place?
I did not have that thought. I read your comment and I was like, what? Night court vibes? Is it because it's in a mountain?
That maybe kind of the cold depiction. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it wasn't all cold, but just that beautiful city.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I did not think of that, but I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get that vibe when I was reading, but I see what you're saying. There's all this history in the first part of the chapter, and I was like, this is... I don't know if I'm just getting intolerant of all the excess shit, but I'm like, I don't care about this. And I'm a historian. I should care about that. But I was like, I don't give a fuck about the rest of this info. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, move it along.
I guess we do get a little bit of a glimpse of Lionel's war machines, where the prisoners in this camp actually have a gun on them at all times, that if their adrenaline rises, they die.
Yeah, what kind of bullshit? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I get scared, your adrenaline rises.
Yeah, what's the threshold? Yikes.
And sometimes, your adrenaline, you get adrenaline without actually doing anything. I would understand heart rate or whatever, but how do you measure adrenaline in somebody's body? It's not like you can infrared see it or something.
There's a chemical that's associated with it, right?
I guess, but wouldn't you have to have a needle inside that person's body?
Well, that tracker they have on might.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they have a tracker that reads that for each person, and then it connects to that camera or, the weapon. I guess not really camera.
The only thing that made logical sense about this to me was this explained why he had wealth, because they were talking about the fact that they mine diamonds from this place, so the diamonds can make power. They have power in them, and that also sounds like a way to have wealth, to create war machines and all the stuff that they're doing for his little jade palace.
And not to mention the fact that they're super rare now because they've mined the shit out of that mine and they haven't found one in a really long time.
Yeah, poor polar bears.
And
they're home.
The leader, after they're freed, the leader has some kind of diamond that they want to give to the twins.
She presents the diamond to Seth and Caleb.
Isn't it something special about it?
Is there something special about it? I didn't write it down.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just remembered that she wanted to present it to the queens.
Okay. I did not write it down either. I got the impression that there was something special about it, so I wasn't sure.
Well, I know that the stones, Seth says something about the stone's power. So that's probably what you're thinking of. I just didn't take too much note of it. Let me go back. She walked toward us, ice sliding over her dark skin as she wielded her water element. She came to a halt, tilting her face toward the sky and whispering a word that set the atmosphere alight. Sakweek. A diamond appeared as if from her heart itself, sliding from her skin to lay in her palm. It was roughly cut and glittering with all the colors of the northern lights. My name is Emenia, not Amelia, Emenia Brumalis, and I have waited a long time to place this diamond at the feet of the queens. As a fellow of the Glacials, I pledge my allegiance to their cause. Take me to them so that I might assist them in the war. That is what it says in the passage.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
Cool.
But other than that, at this point in the story, I was like, anybody else feel like this is going too well? Literally, Orion and Max did theirs without a hitch. Other than running into Clydenius, theirs is going well. Seth and Caleb pulled theirs off without really much of a hitch.
We're used to things going really badly, so...
Yeah, so I felt like this was also, again, too easy.
We have a trauma reaction to the books. Like, always on edge.
You can't sit there and make everything go wrong, and then suddenly the last book, everything goes right for them. Except for, you know, that star in Lavinia. But that was easily fixed, apparently.
Well... We'll have to see next section. I feel like most things went well this section, and that you're right, that is kind of concerning.
I was like, no. When are things going to go bad? Because you gotta
Unless they're going well because it's the end.
Yeah. Well, see, that's my thing. I think they were trying to shorten it and rush it, and so they couldn't make things go wrong.
Right.
So they just, and it was a success. Woohoo, nothing went wrong. Speaking of the semi-little thing that went wrong, Leon, Gabriel, and Geraldine go to what sounds like a swamp?
Oh, yeah.
Something?
This is my favorite chapter.
Yeah. I feel like it went so
this
right.
This is my favorite chapter of all time.
And after making a deal to see who can kill the most nymphs, Leon is accidentally poisoned by a frog and hallucinates the entire chapter.
He wasn't accidentally poisoned. He was poisoned because he's a bit of a dumbass. A sweet dumbass,
fell on him,
but
right?
a dumbass nonetheless.
That's accidental. Yeah.
He picked it up and he's playing with it.
I thought the frog
after it fell on him.
Technically it fell on him, but then he's like handling it.
He's like, whoa, it's
and they're
pretty.
like, you might want to do that. And then he's like, my little friend.
Dave's like, Leon, give that to me.
And he puts it in his pocket.
And then all of a sudden, Jerry is a bird going, caw, caw.
And Gabriel is bananas. And it's
There's
Christmas.
A line. So I was reading.
Yeah, what kind of fucked up Christmas has he had?
I was reading the ebook and I switched to the audiobook because I wanted to hear the narrator portray this part. And there's a line where he says, rolling, rolling, rolling. And the narrator goes, rolling, rolling, rolling. And I did not think of it that way at all. I'm so glad I did both. I read the ebook and I listened to the audiobook.
Oh my God. It was so, well, the nymph bubbles.
Oh my God. I was like,
the red spray that tastes like Christmas and candies.
Oh,
He's
man.
like,
and then
tasty, but that's ashes, honey. Ashes.
I was
Right?
assuming it was like blood spray,
Well,
like a mist.
when the nymphs die, they turn into ash and shadow. So I'm assuming that's what it was.
And they taste like candy, apparently.
I love the part when he was like, there's going to be no presents for baby Riblet now. I took him from my frog pocket, obviously, and held him up to his banana
abandoned
father.
me. He abandoned me.
Yeah. And then he's like, you didn't kill any nymphs, but you killed like 8 trees.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So you definitely lost the bet. And can I say I called Jerry winning? Called it.
Of course. Just loved that chapter so much. Even though it was useless, loved that chapter.
Yeah. It was a good laugh.
It was. I needed it. I needed it deeply.
Well, with a whole lot of luck, Darcy and Tori make it to the Fallen Star safely. But time is kind of running out because Clyde was like, as soon as I get back, I'm going to make you a person.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And how did he not notice them?
I was shocked that as soon as they started burning through the shadows, Lavinia didn't feel it.
I wondered about that as well. That you would think when they're taking the shadows off of the star, burning through them, Lavinia would freak in that moment. I expected her to come running.
I mean, she felt the death of her first child.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
she's
she
connected?
Feel this? Yeah.
Yeah, she's supposed to be connected to everything.
And
is she still after Darcy disconnected her from?
Well, she made it to where she can only command her own shadows. She can't use all the shadows. So the shadows that were keeping the star there were hers.
So she should be able to feel it. Yeah, it's
in
weird
theory.
Then.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Especially when Stella was transferring the death bond from Orion to herself. She gave him a potion specifically to be like, Lavinia can't feel this now.
Yeah. It's weird that it didn't work out, and Clyde was trying to get Asphelion, the star, to join him, and they managed to set her free.
She was like, okay, before I go, I'm going to give you a gift. And they're like, oh, kill Lionel, do this, do that. And the star's like, I can't kill, I can't grant life, I can't do this.
They're like, okay, what if you just get rid of all of his soldiers? And she's like, and I'm gonna get rid of the shadows. Okay.
We are cleansing.
Well, she says it like 3 times though.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, they're calling out to me. They want to be free. And they keep talking. And then she says it again. She's like, what about the shadows and releasing them? And then they still ignore and keep going on. And then she's like, yeah, I went ahead and just released them. So you're good.
They are cleansed. You're welcome. I know that's
I love that
not
she
what
asks
you wanted.
them and then totally ignores them. Yeah. You're welcome.
It's a gift, not a wish.
And I mean, they did ask for a lot of things that she did say, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I mean, you're a star. You can fucking do
also,
it. But you don't
Clyde
want to.
could have done it. Yeah, like Clyde could have done it. How about fuck you, Asphelion? Also, how are they holding that bitch down there in that pit? Because I want to know, what is it? Is it just a rock? A glowing rock?
I think it's just a glowing rock. But I think it's being, like, the power is being held within the rock.
Right.
By the shadows.
Right.
So all they did was release the power.
Here's what I imagine. I imagine a giant cavern, the shape of those flimsy water cups that are like cones that they give you at runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ices.
Yeah, like the little icy, flimsy ass paper cups. That's the shape of the cave. And in the middle of it, suspended by like little spindles of shadow / string, is the fucking rock in the center of this cone cave. And it's just hanging there. Like, and they jump into the cave.
So the star is a snow cone?
It's in a snow cone. It's in a snow cone. That's how I imagined it. And then they have to fly down there and break all of the chains.
And eat the snow cone. I love this visual.
Yes, and in my visual, if you did it right, you could pull those shadows down and then bungee it right back up. Like, you could just fly that fucking star right out of there.
Well,
I don't know why.
I will say Diego is now free thanks to this star.
Yay.
Which is good. I thought they were going to have to go on another mini quest to fix that.
They should be thankful and not
Like,
Yes.
well, fine.
It's still helpful.
Not that they
it's
were.
just not what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, while holding the illusion of this army marching on Lionel's, Derek shows up yet again. And honestly, I'm starting to sense a theme here with them because they do push the sister bond between Darcy and Tori a lot. And Derek keeps bringing up, but I'm your
We're
brother.
brothers.
I'm your brother.
Yeah.
And so they seem to be emphasizing the sibling bonds.
Also, Xavier with the logic in this chapter when Darius was like basically not listening to Therex at all. And Xavier was like, well, we should, we were also raised by terrible parents.
He has logic, but he also says some stupid shit. I think both me
I
and
was
Christy
gonna say, that's the
wrote,
part I remember.
shut up, Xavier.
I mean, he always says stupid shit, but what exactly are you referring to?
He was being an asshole to Therex.
Yeah.
And basically because he's the one that told Therex that you're not like us because we at least have some good in us and you're just trash. I mean, paraphrasing, but
I guess I'm mixing up Darius and Xavier.
yeah, because Xavier was the one who was like, well, we're like our mom and you only have Lavinia, so you're shit out of luck on both sides. And I was like, shut up, Xavier, shut up. He is trying to connect to you. And Darius steps in, and then Derek says that he's gonna make no choice. And that's when Xavier makes a good argument and is like, but no choice is still a choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I thought also, because wasn't it Xavier that told Darius to basically let him go, not to follow him? Because the way that he said he didn't want to make a choice was like indicated that he wouldn't tell on them.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought that was some good logic too. But
yeah, he has his moments, good moments, but it's that one moment when Theric shows up and he immediately is like, "No, you're trash," and I was like,
No, shut up.
yeah.
we want to recruit him.
Oh yeah. Me
Recruit
too.
him.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
I may
was the
have
same
written
way.
this about the conversation between Xavier and Darius because I just noticed shortly after that there's the moment where he was like, well, you and Tori were inevitable, right? But he was like, yeah, it was brutal persistence that I made it work because I thought that was hilarious. So I actually think it might not have been the conversation with Therex for the reason that I wrote that, but it doesn't matter.
So Therex does leave, and on their way out, Tori and Darcy end up running into him on their route through the palace or throne room, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Throne room.
Mm-hmm.
And he helps them
Yep.
for a price.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They now owe him a debt.
Interesting.
Any thoughts on what this debt's gonna be? I'm thinking, I don't know.
I think they're going to save him at some point, and then Tori's going to remind him that that debt has been paid now.
I think something like that will happen as well. I was gonna say about Therex, there's a moment in that conversation with Darius and Xavier that it seems to be implied that he has 1 foot in the veil, or 1 foot in death, and 1 foot in life, because he can hear all those voices. He talks about hearing the ocean. He talks about
talking to the water.
Yeah. And just kind of being confused and knowing too much.
Yeah, this is where I think he learned of Darius's and Tori's bond.
Yes.
The heartbeat.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know his perfect mate?
What?
The ferryman.
The ferryman.
Yes, think
my
about
God.
it. Between death and life, would that not be perfect?
Oh my lord.
I think the
Okay.
ferryman will hate him.
Yeah,
I think the ferryman will
so
hate
too.
everybody. But
The ferryman will hate him
I think
because
he's going to
like,
give him a hug.
oh my gosh. The ferryman will hate him because he has 4 souls trapped inside of him that are supposed to be gone over to the Vale.
But it's not his fault.
it is not his fault.
It's not his fault. But what I was going to say is, I think that's going to be pivotal to our story.
Also,
Yeah.
the funny thing is, Ferrex seems to be imitating Darius too. He's wearing his clothes similar to the same style that Darius wears his. He made an axe out of shadow, and even Tori was like, he calls Tori
didn't pick
Roxy,
up on that.
and
Interesting.
Tori says that his voice sounds so similar to Darius's that she almost couldn't tell them apart.
Interesting.
Quintessential little brother.
Oh, yep. I didn't pick up on that, honestly, Brittany, until you brought it up, but you're right. You're definitely right.
He's so trying to be Darius, which means he's so going to switch sides.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is. And I like how Tori and Darcy talk to him. They're so kind to him.
Yeah. They probably get a sense of something. They know.
So they also kind of find all these insane, crazy, murdering experiments that Professor Vard has been working on. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
You ain't got no claim to that title.
When did he become a professor? And then I think it was Darcy who repeated it. I was like,
Yeah.
Darcy's like, that is an insult to my mate.
I don't know. I enjoyed Tori torturing that little twat.
Do we know his name? Did they ever give his name?
I didn't pay attention to him that closely.
So some of the stuff about the monsters I already knew because of the Balorian in Darkmoor. So when he was like, how do you control him? I was like, oh, collar or manacle as they call it. And then they mentioned they're trying to manufacture flaws in them to be exploited.
Ah.
The Balorian has a flaw.
Interesting.
Lemons.
Jack Barlow?
I was about to say, and this time around, thinking about it,
Citrus?
After I read Darkmoor, I didn't think about it in that context, but like reading it with this, I was like, oh, it's Jack Barlow.
Citrus.
Although his is oranges, though.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah,
but Jack, and of course, this came first. Jack Barlow did not, but
Citrus seems to fight off evil, though. So
it does.
It's a good thing I love Citrus.
Yeah,
it's good to know.
And gotta say, opening the doors manually.
I was like, you really had a whole app for this, but then you didn't figure out how to set it up to open the doors. Come on. Also, I was like, they better burn this cave to the ground with all of the shit in there. And they didn't do it. And I'm actually disappointed that they didn't burn it all down. Like, burn all his notes, get rid of his equipment, burn it.
Yeah, it really needs to be done.
Yeah,
really.
He doesn't need to create more. Yeah.
And I loved the parting line. King Lionel can get fucked.
Yes.
Right up the ass.
You can just
with
see
a
them
pine
going,
cone.
Fuck you, middle finger. Yep.
Okay, so when they all get back after all having successfully destroyed all the Inquisition centers, freed the captives and the star, they all decide to do a little celebrating, including Xavier, Sophia, and Tyler. And they go back to is it Terra House? Yeah, they go back to Terra House, or Xavier goes to Terra House. And he's decided that he is no longer going to let his grief of losing his mom stop his orgasms.
Congrats to Xavier. Congrats, I guess.
I did not want to see this. It is like the fucking Care Bears having sex. Like, no.
Well, what the best part is that it gets live streamed.
That was great.
I actually
Perfect.
freaked out. I was like, no, oh my god, no.
My name is Xavier A. Crux, and I can come anytime I want.
Who
That was
does
perfect.
that? Who does that? What the fuck? My name is Xavier A. Crux.
I mean, maybe if you're by yourself, you could say that, but really?
In front of your partners?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I am just speechless that he felt comfortable doing that.
I mean, he felt comfortable running to Tyler after getting his dick jazzled and going, look!
I don't know if it's comfortable so much as it is verbal diarrhea. I don't think he can actually help but say these things.
So this was a glimpse of the original Xavier because he was so lame at the beginning and he's still so lame.
He is. He's a walking
Also,
disaster.
yes.
Gabriel's
God.
response.
Oh my god.
I saw this coming and I could have stopped it.
Hashtag revenge of the bush.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, and how in the hell did he tag his mom?
No, but seriously, how? How?
His dead mom.
Did y'all make it any worse? The authors had to just up the ante.
Well, I mean, it kind of went along with the fact that every time when he got his dick jazzled, he ran to Tyler's room and he very specifically said, and my mom was there. And then when he had sex for the first time, he ran to go tell Orion he wasn't a virgin, and he was like, I fucked all the holes. And then he realizes his mom is there.
His mom was there.
Why is his mom connected to all of his sex scenes?
Because it's embarrassing for him,
Yeah.
and the authors love that.
Yeah, she was like,
This is creepy for us.
that's nice, honey. That's like
That's nice.
a teenage nightmare.
Oh my god.
That is like the number one teenage nightmare, to be walked in on by your mom while doing things like that.
Yeah, that sure is. Yeah, it gave me a good chuckle.
Yeah.
Good laugh.
It was funny.
Well, the twins freeing the star and the star cleansing the shadowed had some unintended side effects for Lionel and Lavinia. Pretty negative side effects.
Okay, this chapter is going to take a little while to go through. I'm just saying.
Chrissy's been waiting.
Go off.
I have been waiting. Okay, on a semi-serious note, like how many times can a leader look like a dumbass before the followers flee? Everything he's ever done.
If America
Failure.
is an example, pretty often.
I was going to say, there was a part of me that was like, this is beyond reason. The authors are being ridiculous. But unfortunately, it is within the realm of possibility. Like that's,
Yeah.
So I just enjoyed this chapter so much. And then I had to fucking laugh when he was, so he's up in the air, he's flying, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Star gets taken and he loses his power and his little hand goes off and he's trying to throw himself through the fucking window, butt ass naked. And he's hurled to the opening like a turd going back up the butthole.
Oh my god.
I fucking love it. So he lands.
Brittany and her
Again,
ass
he's
talk.
naked.
Or
His little dragons
Chrissy
are
and her
trying to
ass
cover it up to maintain his dignity.
Like he has
and I was
any.
like, that ship has sailed, my friend.
No, for
Like
real. Like your little wee wee's flying in the air, buddy.
Like you lost your dignity in Zodiac Academy when
With a cloak?
Hale uncovered you. So
With a cloak on?
Oh, yeah.
With a cloak on? Could you be any more unserious?
the cloak
Right?
would cover his booty, but not the front.
I know this. And the bonded men, my God, at some point, would you not be like,
Oh my god.
and then when he's I think he's like at the precipice or whatever at the window, and he starts to fall forward. And one of them like jerks him back so hard he chokes him with his own cloak and throws him across the floor. Once again, displaying his weenie. Once again, they have to maintain the dignity.
So, question. Do you think that they're doing this on purpose? I mean, the guardian bond does make them want to
see some stuff.
Ew. Don't ruin the chapter.
Maybe they want to see the weenie.
Oh my god. And touch it.
His teeny weenie.
Oh my god.
It's mushroom.
Yeah. No, I did not think that at all.
I didn't think of it until you said.
Oh, don't call it that. Ew.
Why doesn't he? I don't understand. Why does he not put on underwear? At this point, how many times
have we seen the weeby?
Does he flash?
Yeah.
And the bonded men come running to cover. Put some fucking underwear on.
At least when Orion was the bonded man, he still does it. When Darius changes, Orion's already got sweatpants ready to go. Here you go, dude.
Right? Oh my god. Yeah, his dick just kept coming out.
He wanted to make an appearance.
It did.
It doesn't want to be covered up anymore. It's not.
I still that part though when they jerk him back by his cloak and it chokes him.
Living.
Oh my god, I was dying.
And Lavinia,
I was absolutely dying.
Lavinia can't help him with his hand now, so she tries to fix it and she can't, and he just gets more and more angry.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So not only.
Oh my god.
Not only can she not call any other shadows, she's lost connection to everything. She only has hers. She's lost her nymphs who are killing each other. And she can't make a hand, which means he don't got his magic.
Right. That's my thing is he says something about it like, I am now more powerful than. No, you're not, because you don't have your magic. You don't have a hand at all. So she still is technically
he can
more
use
powerful
the
than
other
you.
one. It just takes training.
Right.
It still is not going to be the same level of magic as it is with two hands. And I mean, without the other hand, she could cut his other one off and then he's really fucked.
Yeah, that's true. But she'd be fucking herself too.
And she probably does anyways. But oh, I'm sorry. Did you mean like screwing herself over, or did you mean like actually fucking?
Probably both.
I thought you meant
Not
the
that
latter.
he cares about her pleasure.
No. Not even a little bit.
No, otherwise he would notice she's not coming.
Yeah.
But
I was a little disappointed that she gave in to the guardian bond.
Yeah, me too. I was actually very disappointed in that. I wanted her to fight that to the last tooth and nail.
Yeah.
Because realistically, I don't even care that she doesn't have her shadows anymore. He could have forced that on her, right? But it's the fact that she agreed that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he's some sort of powerful being and he can help her, or I don't know. Do you think she really loves him?
No.
I don't think she knows the meaning of the word.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I think she loves power and he is her access to it.
Yeah, I think that they have a weird relationship now, and a lot of it's based on power. And I think that he's her closest access to what is left, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked that, especially Lionel, but neither of them, when all of this shit starts to go wrong, he knows that the Vegas have been there, that the star isn't his first guess as to what
I also
happened,
thought
that
that
it takes
was silly.
him that long.
Yeah.
This is how dumb he is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is. So
like, Max put the damn star to sleep. That army's coming. First thing I'm going to do is guard the star.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my fun with this chapter.
It is nice to see him brought low.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I love when he suffers.
Mm-hmm.
And Lavinia is also brought low, which I'm okay with too. And Therex steps in and he's like, no, I may be half shadows, but I'm half fae too.
Yeah.
What did he say that pissed her off when she slaps him?
I think it was that he was half fae.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay.
The other thing is, Clyde is fucking mad because he lost his star. Unfortunately, they're predicting yet another star falling soon. Because, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And, of course, because this is Zodiac Academy, they have a party after winning
Celebrate
one
the
battle. Instead of planning the next one and realizing, hey, we have a week until that star woke up, although they did fix that problem. But, clearly Lionel is going to retaliate, and we all know that.
Yeah.
Instead of planning the next battle or getting ready, they have a party, they get drunk. We realize that Cindy Lou, what's-her-face, is coming. Yay. You get to meet her in person.
Did we really have to? Did she really have to be a part of it?
I mean, they made a point of her writing in and saying, thank God the stars brought you back to me. So she's going to show up, she's going to try to get with Darius, and Tori's going to beat her ass.
Interesting. Well, I look forward to that.
I mean, watch her, break into their room and lay on their bed naked, and Tori walk in and just...
Tori will roast her.
That's what I was thinking. Phoenix Fire, you're gone. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I hope Dante's there to witness it, too.
Oh, my God, yes.
She stalked him pretty bad.
Oh, my God.
Elise could be there, too.
She'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah. Cindy Lou is her brother's ex-girlfriend, and they did not get along in school.
Interesting.
I did find it hilarious that Darcy tried to reenact the stars.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
The stars' release of power by making an illusion with Xavier.
Yeah, she was like, Xavier, come over here. And Ryan's like, wow, it's like I was really there.
Yeah. She's drunk off her ass.
Oh, I love them.
And as the prize for winning the bet, Geraldine gets to dare Gabe and Leon to something, so they choose to do drunken pitball.
And we don't get the scene. Don't get the scene, and that was the one time I was like, okay, maybe I wanted a lame drunk pitball scene. If you're gonna give me crap, give me funny crap, because that's what they're good at.
I wouldn't mind a novella of that scene. I was okay with it not being in this because, again, I was like, really?
Yeah.
We're getting down to the wire.
Yeah, I agree. Afterwards I was like, okay, it makes sense that it's not written out. I get it. I get why it's not. But I was kind of looking forward to it for a minute. I knew it was going to be funny.
So the next day, Orion unintentionally meets everybody minus Darcy in secret so they can all add something to the ring because he's gonna propose, which was still exciting even though, they're mates, so duh, she's gonna say yes. But this scene almost had me in happy tears. It was very sentimental.
It was very sweet and funny. And just everybody showing up oh yeah, Seth called us. Seth wants us to come.
Well, Geraldine...
Or for Jerry when Gabby flies into the window to wake her up.
Gabby flies into the window for Geraldine, and Geraldine sends the bird to Tori, which Orion should have invited Tori to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Seth tells Max and Sophia. Maybe Max comes on his own. I don't remember. But he tells Sophia and Tyler and Xavier. So we've got Seth adding the moon cycle around the sapphire. Caleb adds 2 leaves. Max adds a song to make it unbreakable and unable to tarnish. Yet another song.
Genius.
Geraldine adds blue means you on the inside of the ring, which Xavier,
That's beautiful.
Sophia, and Tyler add glow to the sapphire, which makes
And
it
rainbows.
especially shiny around rainbows.
Yeah.
Gabriel adds 2 diamonds in the leaves, and Tori adds the Gemini symbol. I also have to point out, I love when they brought up the sparkle dick.
Yeah. I just want to see it for science.
Yeah, totally for science.
For science.
And
Darius, put your hand in there.
yeah, and then Geraldine shows up and she's like, "Oh, are y'all talking about the sparkle dick?"
Like, what? You know about that?
Darcy told me she went into much detail.
Of course she did.
Oh, she was most descriptive. That was what it was said.
Yes. Also, Darius being like, "Oh, did you remember talking to Michael? Marduk? Marcel, your dead dad."
In the end, he finally gets
Oh my
the
God.
name right.
But
Finally.
after he says, "Your dead dad," he's like, "Well, I'm talking about your dead dad." And he's like, "Marcel."
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
To which Gabe then beats the crap out of him.
He
It's like-
deserved that.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
He's
He did.
probably here now, so.
Yeah, it was a fun scene.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, okay, so they go to the library later on and they're reading books about the stones and the Star Trinity or whatever. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how did the Fae know about the Star Trinity in the first place? Has this ever been done?
Yeah,
Why did the Fae know about it? Why is it in
I
books?
agree. All the trips to the library.
But yes, they do mention using the power words to control Clyde, potentially. So, woohoo. And they do say the stone circle is probably what the Oracle was talking about.
Which we knew already, but apparently they had to confirm it.
Yes.
All right, so we get to our last chapter, which is my favorite of this section.
Hell yeah. Hell
Okay.
to the fuck yeah.
So Caleb has made a decision. He contacts his mom, says, Air Cove. He's walking through the marketplace, buys something that they didn't tell us about, and then he goes to meet his mom and challenges her for her place on the council, which finally, one of them makes a challenge.
Yes.
After all this time.
And at first I was like, what is he doing? And then I was like, oh, yes, finally, yes.
I thought they were just playing at first. I don't know. Mom,
I love that
baby wrestling.
After they finish the fight, she's like, all right, you have my blessing.
Yeah. And I mean, people witnessed it. So he is now the official Earth heir or Earth counselor.
Yes.
He's got a name and heir. So
oh yeah.
You better get busy.
Seth better get busy.
He needs an heir.
Dear Lord.
But yes, so he's claimed this title, and then he goes to the orb to tell Seth and the others what happened. Only they're in the middle of a broadcast, and he was supposed to be there, but missed it.
He's like,
because
fuck
of the
it.
whole fight. And then he just interrupts the thing, and he's like, dude, I love you. I've loved you for a long time, and I'm tired of hiding it. I just love you.
I'm gonna cry. It's so
and
good.
I squeed through this whole thing. I was like, oh, he just declared his love in front of the entire world.
Yes. When he gives him the rose quartz, I went, the rose quartz! I was like, ah! I was screaming. And it's the shape of a moon.
Yes.
Caleb is, though. He is a beautiful gifter.
Yes.
Although apparently he can't plan a date. But
to save his life.
That's just because it wasn't Seth.
Exactly. That was
I think for Seth that will be perfect.
That wasn't his soulmate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they do go back.
They do the nasty.
Yeah, and while doing this, Caleb kind of feels a burn on the back of his neck, but kind of dismisses it. And then later on, they're laying there together, and Seth's like, "What the fuck? We're moon-mated!"
And this is what I meant. That's what I thought would happen in the last section, where I was like, maybe they just missed it. Maybe it happened and they didn't feel it, and they're gonna realize it later. And that is kind of what happens here, but it's more obvious. And I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I don't know what made them moon-mated. Maybe the moon just decided it was time because Caleb finally claims him in front of the world, and I am thrilled. I'm so happy.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
About time.
It was, and they're the best couple, and I wanted them to be happy together.
So, Tori and Darius are technically Elysian mates, even though they don't got the silver rings.
Right.
Darcy and Orion are Elysian mates. Seth and Caleb are moon-mated.
Right.
So we got Max and Geraldine left, and Xavier, Tyler, and Sophia. Do we think we're going to get any more mates?
I feel like no, but if there was going to be another pair, I think it would be Max and Geraldine, not Xavier.
Yeah.
I think Max and Jerry are going to end up Elysian mates.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
I think
I could see, what's the other option? There would be, I don't know.
they
is there a
would be
sun
moon
maybe?
mates or sun mates.
Sun-mated.
Yeah.
Why?
I think Elysian mates, though.
I feel like we're not going to get any
there's
more
not
mates.
that much left in the book.
Yeah, I'm worried too. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Either we're not going to get another mate, or
It'll
it's
be
going to be very
after
soon.
5 years.
Oh, yeah, that too. I didn't think about that, but you said that that's common.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case. If it was like after 5 years, they're Elysian mates. Like, no, no.
Yeah, that would suck. That would suck ass.
Yeah.
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 All
Thoughts for
right.
next section?
Thoughts for next section. We are getting down to the end. I think there has to be some preparation for the last battle, because we all know there's going to be a last battle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to put together their army and put together a plan. We got to get the nips in and the guildstones, whatever they're going to do with those, that needs to come into fruition.
They got to figure some shit out. Yeah.
Yeah.
They still got a lot to do. Not a lot of
agree.
time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for next episode, I'm most excited about maybe possibly going to see the ferryman.
Yes, I forgot about the ferryman again.
We got to see him.
Yeah.
They haven't done it yet. What will he say? Is what I'm wondering.
There's also Lyra. What was her purpose?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Is she gonna...
I'm not as interested in her, though. I mean, I'm curious, but I'm not quite as...
I'm curious, too.
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
And what about Theronix? Is he gonna turn? I'd like to see that happen soon.
He definitely is.
So that's what I'm waiting for. That's my big hope for the next section and for the end.
Okay.
Is really going to be based on him and how he comes out.
Okay.
Also, we forgot to mention it, but wasn't Ellis in that throne room, or when Lionel...
Yes.
Do you think Max gave her an option? If we meet on the opposite sides of the battlefield, do you think they'll meet head to head?
I think she'll turn at the last minute, but she won't be like actually useful. She'll come to the side of the twins, but it'll be like a side, like a passing thing.
I agree.
I'm going to guess the opposite. I'm going to guess that she'll go dark.
That'd be crazy.
Poor
Pull Darth Vader on us.
Tiberius. Poor Tiberius.
Yeah.
Actually, it's good for Tiberius. She said this shit. She didn't recognize him. Remember when she said her mom was all she had?
I know.
So-
That breaks my heart for Tiberius.
Yeah.
He still cares.
For the last part of the book, what craziness are they going to throw at us at the finale?
Oh, God. I'm betting there's going to be some major deaths.
You think?
Caleb.
I think Caleb's going to live.
I think all the heirs will live. I think
Yes.
Tori and Darcy will live. I think Geraldine will live. I think
Tyler will die.
No.
That might be a possibility. I
Tyler,
think. Or
maybe Sophia.
Or even Sophia.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Sophia.
Damn.
I mean, I don't want it, but I'm not heartbroken.
Yeah.
I think hopefully Kylie, Mildred.
Yeah, for sure. Washer?
That
In a blazing sacrifice?
Oh, I bet he will.
In a sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I bet he will.
Yeah.
There's Marguerite as well. What happens to her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Milton.
Yeah.
Bernice.
Rosalie and her pack. I don't think Rosalie will die because obviously she is alive 5 years from now for Darkmoor.
Right.
But we don't know what happens to her pack.
Right.
Who else? Who else has played a role? Justin Masters.
Yeah, what will become of him?
Yeah.
He's going to get lost in the Wailing Woods. And they're not going to know what happens to him. And they're going to, 5 years later, go, oh, fuck.
You know what
we
would
lost
suck?
them.
If Miguel brought all the ones who wanted to fight and he died. After just getting his family back.
Oh my god.
That would be sad.
That would be very sad.
But he would be back with Diego.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we're getting his POV.
That'd be crazy. Yeah. Do you think they're going to bring in all the crazy characters? Like the witches, the nymph witches, the 3 lawyers, the Griffin lawyers?
Yes.
The Griffin lawyers probably, because they've been with the rebels the whole time. I don't think the nymph oracles leave that room.
That'd be fucking sick, though, if they fought in the battle. That'd be fucking crazy. They would like all the pain.
You would owe us a prize. Ooh, speaking of pain, how is this last battle, do you think, gonna play on Tori and Darius's blood and chaos?
Yeah, that's a good question.
They're gonna have a fuck ton of fun. That's it. Then their payment will be made after this battle to the ferryman.
You think?
Maybe.
To death. Yes.
It's a good possibility.
But something might go wrong. Something might go wrong.
They will be awash with death.
All
right, well, we hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. Next episode, we'll be discussing Book 9, Restless Stars, chapters 58 through 86. New episodes drop every week.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to continue to bring you new episodes each week. So please, please, please do so. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.